Good morning, everyone. Clutch here, Sodak Motorcycle Blog, here on the 21st of March of 2026. And well, we're going to see if we can maybe take that for a ride today, because it's supposed to be like 80 degrees today. It's been very warm this whole winter. So, nice warm Saturday in March. And I need to do the obligatory, got to go show everybody that, yep, I have a motorcycle and I ride it sometimes. So, I want to make sure that people know I have a motorcycle. Just kidding. It's more or less, it's a very nice warm day in March, and we're going to see if we can make this work out. Now, when we last parked this, you'll notice there's a new cover. When we last parked this, because I had to order the cover so late, I had to put this on a Friday night before I went skiing in December, and well, we had one problem with the headlight. Decided that it didn't want to stay on automatically anymore. So we're going to pull this cover off, and we're going to see if the issue's still present. And if it is still present, we're going to do some figure out what we need to do with it to make it work again. So that's where we're sitting at. So let's go ahead and get this going. Play with my new tripod here. Yeah, got a cool little tripod here from, all right. Where the hell's the zipper on this thing? The nice thing about this cover is, oh, there it is. It basically fully encloses the motorcycle. So, in a situation like this, where I have it not in a fully enclosed storage, it really comes in handy. Especially when you see the amount of dust that's on this cover. It's very dusty. You're just going to have to take my word for it on this one. Right. Oh wow, that does a really good job. That cover worked really good. You can't really tell, but there's a lot of dust coming off this cover. But underneath, the bike looks pretty darn good. Not terribly dusty at all. That's kind of nice. This cover right here, it's made by a place called TES Enclosures. And like I said, it's a very good cover, at least from what I've seen. This is only the first time I pulled the bike out of it. Much like any other cover, it definitely gets goes all over the place. But yeah, it's a TES, made by TES Enclosure Systems. This video is not sponsored by them, by the way. It is a little bit of an expensive cover. Oh, there's a little dust right there. There is some dust on it, but not too bad. So I'm not sponsored by them. It is a spendy cover. It's like a $250 cover, but all right, let's see if we got headlights first of all. We do. Okay. So my guess is, when we were thinking, oh, yeah, Okay, there's our issue. Yep. The switch. The switch is a little sticky. Yep. So, we're going to spray some contact cleaner in that thing. Well, I did some looking, and they did say could possibly be an issue. Basically, the contacts get crappy. Honda does a lot of things right. One thing they kind of suck at, though, sometimes is contacts and having good electrical connections. But we got our electronic cleaner. Make sure if you're doing these, you do it with use the electronic cleaner. And then we're just going to spray a bit in there. And we're going to just work it around there. Get this. Because like I said, they get gunk in them. Yep, they get gunk in them. We still got headlights. Okay. Sweet. Yep. Just got a little bit more to clean in there. We're just going to spray some more in there because it never hurts to spray more there. Nice thing about contact cleaner, it don't really, well, it's made for electrical contacts, so it won't hurt the electrics. It generally won't hurt the plastic. That's why you, like I said, spend the extra money, get the electrical contact cleaner. Don't do this with WD-40 or any crap like that. This is a great way to, yeah, anyways, sweet. Well, there we go. Let's see if she fires up. I'm going to disconnect my maintainer here. Fires right up. That's always a good feeling. We got headlights, we do. Let's check our turn signals here real quick. That one works. That one works. Brakes work. How do the high beams do? High beams work. Hell yeah, they do. Sweet. Charger works. Ah, that's always a good feeling. Well, I think we're gonna go for kind of a ride today, I think. One thing I do want to show you is, like I said, I mean, there's some dust on this motorcycle, but there isn't as much as usual. I definitely think that cover was very worthwhile to have, for sure. Let's see here. Oh, didn't see how much coolant we lost over the winter. I guarantee you we lost a little bit. It's a Goldwing. You definitely always lose a little bit, but no. Oh, also that cover comes with one of these, so you can put your kickstand on it. I didn't really try it with the center stand. I didn't really want to. But like cover like this is pretty good in this kind of environment, for sure. All right, let's get it out of here. we'll let it run for the full 5 minutes or so to kind of, so we can check the oil on it. Better grab my rags. All right, now that we're pretty much up to operating temperature, before we shut it off, we're gonna check the coolant. Come on. Ace. Just check the overflow here, make sure we're not stupid low. There's a chance we might be. And looks like we need a little bit. Probably won't take much. There we go. Yeah, we just put a little dash in. Don't take much. Yeah, let's put a little more in. Like I said, when you're putting coolant in a Goldwing, just little by little. It does not take much to fill up that coolant reservoir. There we go. It's finicky. I'm just making a mess. Oh, see, now we got yeah, she's pretty. Like I said, it's the best way to do it. You kind of got to go little by little with it, and then, I mean, I'm talking like just little, just sips essentially, and then you got to just stop. Just like that. Just a reminder, with the Goldwing, you don't necessarily got to buy the Honda stuff. Make sure you buy the silicate free. Essentially, you buy the Xerox Asian vehicle coolant, it'll work just fine. It's a little bit cheaper because, well, you can buy a gallon instead of the quarts. Also, you could go to your local Honda vehicle dealership, and I bet you could buy a gallon of probably Honda coolant.
So that's an option too. Okay, and we're going to give that a few minutes to let the oil settle out. Yeah. All right. Oil check. Now, there shouldn't be an issue because this thing hasn't run down the road since I changed the oil on it, but you never know. Ooh. Okay, yep. Yep, oil looks good. All right. Run a little longer than you're supposed to, but because the proper way to check oil on your Goldwing is you gotta let the motor warm up for a few minutes, and then like 5 minutes, and then you gotta stop it. Then you gotta let it sit for 5 minutes, and that's how you get your accurate reading. So our reading's a little bit off because we spent a little bit more time working on that coolant, but it's pretty close. I think we'll be fine. And let's air this thing up. Anytime your bike has not been run for a while, you haven't ridden it for a while, obviously check the air in the tires. That should go out saying, but a good chunk of you out there are not good about checking air in your tires. You should always be checking those. Let's see here. 41. I like to run that to 43. Okay. So my gauge is a little it seems to be off by about 2 pounds. So I run about 2 pounds more than I want. Obviously the front one max is 43 or 41, so I run it to 43. The rear tire, I know the max cold is 42, but I actually run it to 44, so basically I'm looking for 46. We didn't lose a lot of air at all this year. Just had to put a couple tenths in. That's good. I mean, it also helps it's already 60 degrees out. That makes a difference. If it was 30 degrees, it'd be a different story. And here's why I run my pressure's higher, is because I usually have a trailer on this, or a lot of times I'll have a trailer on this. So the extra weight, that really helps with that extra weight. But also, you look at these tires, they got probably about, 11,000 miles on them, and they're still looking fairly good. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but they're looking fairly good. That's why I kind of like to run that like that. If you're having issues with cupping, that's a big one. If you're having issues with cupping, obviously, yes, there's a chance it could be the steering head bearings. That's generally popular refrain. However,
one of the first things I would look at if you're having tire cupping issues, check your air pressure more. I'm going to go against the common belief here. I think a great majority of your issues with tire cupping is not because of steering head bearings. It's because you're not pumping your tires full enough of air and you're not keeping air in them. Like legitimately, like every week you should be topping off the air in your tires when they're cold. Like when they're cold, before you go on your ride on Sunday, top the things off. Check to make sure your air pressures are where they're at. Always do that. I don't care if you got, nitrogen or whatever. Still, you need to be checking them all the damn time. Honestly, nitrogen in tires is the dumbest thing in the world. But seriously, because you already got 70% nitrogen, because the air we breathe is pretty much what's in the tires, I guess. But yeah, check the pressures in your tires. Yes, they could very well be a steering head bearing, but here's the thing. I had issues with cupping for years on multiple bikes. Not so bad on this Goldwing because I'd finally figured it out, but like on my V-Star, every set of front tires I ever had cupped. Every single one of them. So, and it's happened on my V-Star. It happened on my DL 1500. And, well, so to me, and I've noticed it on this too. So, you're telling me that all 3 motorcycles I've had have had worn out steering bearings, which they don't. They don't. The 1800, I check them all the time. I always do, generally, especially like if my wife's with me, I'll usually have her hop on the back so I can get the weight rocked back and I can sit there and do the check on the front. And I've yet to find an issue with them. So, and like I said, with multiple bikes I had, multiple issues with cupping, the thing that it come down to for me was the fact that, well, I wasn't checking my air pressures. So check your air pressures. It's not that hard. With a pressure gauge, get a good pressure gauge that you trust and check them. For God's sakes, check them and keep up with them. So, fun deconflictions with Senna FreeWire. Freaking Bluetooth piss me off. So, turn it on, everything worked, everything pairs up. Obviously, had to do my little restart charge. Generally, with a FreeWire, you gotta, if it's been sitting in your bike all winter, you gotta charge it up just a little bit because there's not enough power in it to jump start it. So got it on there, got jump started, it's working just fine. No audio in the helmet. Everything's connected just fine, whatever. Try my wife's wired headset. Works just fine. Okay, cool. Try to figure out what's going on. See if I can get a firmware update. Well, there's no firmware updates for a FreeWire. So frankly, I wouldn't recommend buying one if you don't have one already. But anyways, let it charge a little bit more. Looked around, didn't find nothing. Brought it back out here, reconnecting it. Now everything's fine. So it's Senna gonna be Senna. That's what that is. So Senna gonna be Senna. All right. Well, now we got that done. I'm thinking let's get this thing ready to ride, I think.